Yeah.
Childhood, growing and developing years of a person. This is meant to be a highly important time to create morals, fundamentals, and skills necessary to be a success. Instead, the trauma CPS creates in these young minds set a path of disaster, and statistics prove it. In nearly 90% of their cases, the trauma is unnecessary. Time is the one thing that can never be given back. CPS takes away moments in life that can't be replaced. The time just keeps going, doesn't mean a thing anymore. They left as children, and it's up to them when they come home if they know who you are. Each second away is time you will never get back and keep getting older.
Studies are leading towards incarceration.
Now comes the honorable judge in the halls of justice, where the Constitution will hold strong, and your rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness will trample CPS for all they have done to your child.
The truth and corruption that's revealed to you is enough to make you sick. This is not America we were sold. Children are being taken from families at the rate of one a minute. It needs to be stopped.
It's time to wake up and abolish CPS.
We all set, babe? All right, everybody. Good evening. I don't know what just happened there. I apologize if there was no sound because I'm hearing in the background that there was no sound, but I heard it here. So I don't know if you guys didn't hear anything in those montages. I apologize if you didn't. I don't know what happened there. So if it was great. I hope you enjoyed them. And if it wasn't, then I apologize for that. And that's what happens on Mondays at CPS Victims Hunting Justice. What's up, guys? I'm your host, CPS Punisher. I want to thank you for coming. If you guys are new here, please, we welcome you to go ahead and be involved in our chats, which are right there. There they are, right there. You guys can go ahead and leave comments, ask questions, do whatever you guys need to do to get our attention so that we answer any questions that you may or may not have. Also, please, guys, be kind whenever you are using these chats, because we are all broken. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're all fighting for the same goals. So let's use words of encouragement for everybody, not doing trash talk or any of that type of stuff. Also, yeah, I think that's it there. You know what? If you can, if you want to help us here, I'm going to put the Cash App down at the bottom of the screen here on the ticker. There's a Cash App there. You can help us, donate, help us keep the show going. Every little bit helps. And if you can't donate, maybe just share to a friend and let them know that we are looking for any sort of help that we can get. That way we can keep promoting this stuff to you guys. So hopefully all of you went without child protective services in your life this weekend. I'm wondering maybe if hopefully you had visits with your kids, that they were great, and your CPS caseworker or whoever oversees your visits wasn't too harsh and allowed you to be involved with your kids this weekend, and you were able to love them and hug them and tell them the truth. And if you weren't, oh man, my heart really goes to you, because that really sucks. I'm a firm believer that these visits with our children need to be set up way different. I mean, we've got to do something about this, right? Like this putting us with our children in, whether it be just you one at a time. I mean, I don't know anybody who has had a family visit with their kids. I know all kinds of people do it with, even in my situation, it was me first, then my wife after. And that isn't promoting reunification or family. That's promoting segregation, I believe. Where they're playing one parent and then the other parent. And then, like, if you're a family, you should be in there with your child, with your family, with whomever is in your family, and you should be visiting with your child. We are turning these children that are already considered victims into super victims here, because why are they being punished? These kids look forward to their visits. I used to see my daughter's face every weekend when I would show up there. It was an hour a week is what we got. An hour a week, and it never changed for no reason. And that's wrong too. Because how many of you out there have been through that same grimace moments where you're like, why are my moments not increased? Why can't I go outside with my child? Why do I have to sit in this box room with this lady that doesn't even know us, and all she does is put her face in a pencil and paper and write down notes? Why is it that I can't tell my daughter the truth? Why can't I tell her that the reason she can't come home is because CPS is making me do absurd things, and they want to keep you, and they're the reasons that they aren't letting you home? It is the caseworker over in that corner. That's why we can't come home, because they're not allowing us to do it. The DHS manuals say clearly, do not lie to the kids. So why are these caseworkers and these managers of CPS telling us to lie to our kids? Don't mention that they're the ones that are holding them. Don't tell anybody what's really going on. Don't let the kids know that it's their fault that they're there, because I'm all for taking accountability for my actions, but it sure as hell isn't my responsibility or my wanting to have my kids sit in a corner with me with some lady with a pencil. So I'm not going to lie to them and tell them, hey, this is okay, because it's not. We need to speak out, people. We need to speak out against what these people, these CPS agents, are forcing us to do. This isn't right. Our kids are the victims. So why are we making them even more so? Why are we segregating them from us? If it's supposed to be reunification, then we should be reunifying. Shouldn't be gaining grounds of separation. We shouldn't be working against the bond. We should be working on it, and that should be increased immediately. Once you start your visitation with your kids every week or every couple of days, whatever it is, that should be increased. This is not fair to the kids. Statistics show this. Studies show this. All of these things show that what CPS, DHS, DHR, whatever the hell they are, isn't working. So why do they consistently go against what studies are saying, what parents are saying, what anybody is saying? We need to have better visits with our kids. That being said, let's bring out Melissa. We'll bring out Herbert, and we got Monday night with our friend Josie from the Great White North. Hello, everybody. How we all doing? Whoop, Herbert. Whoop, echoing.
Herbert's
Sorry,
here.
Herbert, you're out early. Get that echo fixed, buddy. Josie, Melissa.
Hey, how are
doing,
you?
ladies?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good
just-
too.
You're good? All right, so let's go to updates first, Jose. What do you got?
Okay, so let's see. I'm a year older now.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, and I went and saw the lawyer,
Okay.
and basically he warned me when I went in. He's like, I'm not here as your lawyer. I am just gonna ask these people questions. So I
Okay.
thought it was weird. So he's just being paid to not even represent me, just ask questions. So I don't get it.
Ask what kind of questions? Like, do you
For
what do you
for
mean?
the social workers, he's just there to cross-examine them. But like my daughter, he won't cross-examine my daughter because she's my witness. So I thought it was weird.
Well, what the hell is the point of having a witness then?
I know, that's what I don't understand.
Right?
either.
Like, why
I'm
do
just
you?
like,
What is? They can't cross-examine them?
I don't know. Anyway, so that's that. And then another exciting news. Me and a couple other people here that I know in Quebec, we're looking to see we're trying to find solutions. So we're trying to see how could we like open a union or something for the children and the parents against CPS. So
Yeah, all right.
if we start like a union, like maybe it would give us like possibilities to go help the parents without them having to have a lawyer,
Yep.
kind of thing. We
I
would be
do. That's awesome.
represented by union people, right? Just
Yeah,
like
that's
they
great.
do.
Absolutely. That's
So
freaking
we're
awesome.
gonna try to use their laws against them. If they can do
Mhm.
it, we should be able to. So then parents, if they're involved in CPS, they could maybe like, well, I don't know, give a contribution, and then we would be a union, and we would be there to
Yep.
help the kids and the parents in court, and to look at the documents and to analyze it, blah blah.
That's freaking awesome. Do you have
Yeah.
blueprints for this thing? Oh, anybody that wants to send money to Josie to help her cause, you can go ahead and send it here on the bottom of the ticker. You can see that's my Cash App, and I can ensure that gets to her. Josie, do you have anyone? Do you have a Cash App or anything that you want to announce? Or are you fine with them just sending it to me and I can get it
They
to you?
can send it to you, no problem.
All right. Okay, cool. We got to make sure we do that. So please, guys, it's GFY JDG 2021. I think. Yeah.
Yep.
GFY JDG 2021. And we'll make sure that we get Carrie funds for
but
that.
like
Also,
That's my question to you guys. Do you guys have a union for the parents in the United States?
I think we're about the size of it.
We have advocacy organizations like National
but we
Action
wouldn't wanna
Network.
do-
They're in every state.
Yeah, but we don't want to do like a parent group. We really want to be like a union or something that has
Right.
credibility.
Well, no.
in that.
National Action Network is not a parent group. They are a national organization sponsored by some really high up people, and they fight for the families on a nationwide scale.
Right,
That's
but
as
you're
close
talking
as
about
we
it's
got to a parent union.
right. So maybe that's a great idea. You're talking about the parents forming a union, right, Joe? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes,
Like a together union? I
yes.
mean,
Like a
that would
union,
be,
like at work, like for employees. But that's
yeah,
the thing. We're gonna try to make it so that we get fundings and we get the same, like as if it was like we're working for the parents and the kids. And so I don't know. Then the funding can have like lawyers and blah blah, and then we can look through all the documents and help them in court because we're the union.
yeah,
The social workers have unions and foster care has unions. So why don't the parents have unions?
right.
You know, like social workers have one, foster parents have one. So if a foster parent is having trouble with children's aid, they go to their union. But us as parents don't have a union to go to.
Right. No, that's a great idea. That's a good way to get it. You know, like I always preach here. I always preach the see here. What do I call it? What do I call it? What do I call it? I call it this. Or is it up here? Or is it not on this board? Ah, sorry guys, not on this board. I thought it was. Oh wait, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It's not. I'll add it. But that's my pack it up theory. That the parents all. That's what I mean when I promote the pack it up thing. One parent alone is strong. All the parents together, unbeatable. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's just like the wolf theory. That's exactly what that is. So yeah, man, everybody out there, think about what she says. Think about the pack it up thing. That's what we promote here. I mean, we could start that here right now.
Yes,
Why can't
if
we be
you
the
guys start it, we start it, and then we all become. That's why
Right.
I asked if you guys had one. If you
No,
don't,
I mean,
then
we
let's fucking
let's
do it.
do it right now. Right
Yeah.
now, this will be the beginning of this parent union right now that we're building. And everybody, I want to welcome Carrie to the show as always. Carrie and I had a great conversation Saturday night. Carrie, I really appreciated that conversation. We spoke for like 3 hours. She gave me a ton of insight on this. Josie, she actually gave me, I don't know if she got it to you or not, but she gave me a ton of information for Cindy from last week. Cindy's her name, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Cindy, yeah.
Yeah. She gave me some information for her to get to you. I don't know if she did it or not, if Carrie did it or not. But I had a great talk with Carrie. I didn't not call you back, Carrie, on purpose. I just got stuck at the dump and a lot of things. So it wasn't that you made me angry or I was sick of you. It was just that. So I'll make sure that I will get you to that. Whoa. Okay. Kenneth, if you want a link, man, to come and give us that update too, we would like to talk with you. We could send you a link for that. Kenneth just said the court's moved to terminate his ex-wife's rights. So that's not good at all. But yeah, back to this. What do we do? What's our first step, Jose?
Well, you have to find out. Like, right now, we're at the steps of how to do it too. So we're just talking about it. I have a friend who used to be in the union. So she
Well,
told me
first
that,
you're going to have to build your corporation.
okay.
You're going to have to build your articles of incorporation, because anyone who's going to, quote, be part of a union would have to be established as a worker of a corporation. So even if it's a volunteers corporation, you still have to set it up. And then you would want to set up a second corporation to be a nonprofit, so that you can get all your donations and stuff through your nonprofit. Because you always want your nonprofit to make more of your money than your profit corporation.
Yeah.
You want your profit corporation to pay your bills.
Right.
So if you balance it right, your nonprofit pays your profit corporation. Your profit corporation is what employs your entire union of employees, because you also have to have a union workers insurance.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she's definitely meaning like a.
No, that's exactly what I'm meaning.
worker.
She knows what I'm
No,
meaning.
she says
Exactly.
she wants to go
Yeah.
full
You wanna be
union, and she
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
to go like a
lady.
UAW.
All right. Well, if that's the case, let's see here. I'm gonna look this stuff
Yeah,
up. And if
because I
anybody
mean,
out there
being from Michigan, that's all I've ever dealt with is unions.
Really?
All right.
Oh, so you're the one to go to too.
Yeah, I actually belong to the painters union.
Oh, there you
I
go.
still have a union card.
There you go. So there you go, Darren. You
Or
got
just scratch out.
your
Yeah, you can
American
scratch out.
one.
You just scratch out painters union, and then just put
Right.
whatever you want in there. Give
And
us all
like-
a copy of that card. Kitty.
We mix it together. So United States and Canada. We do the North American Union for Parents.
Yes. NAFPA.
Yeah.
Or
we'll
now.
figure something cool. Yeah. And then it's like North American. So like it's all together. And yes.
Oh, kitty. All right. Want to start a union at your work? So one, I guess. Okay. Towards unionizing. Content. All right. So.
How was your weekend?
I talked to a lot of people. I've learned a lot of things over the weekend. Herbert and I had quite a few conversations. There was that big thing that he was turning on to was that body cam shooting. And the only reason I'm bringing this up because I know it doesn't have anything to do with CPS, but that shooting, I believe it was in Florida, that he had me watch. That airman got shot by the sheriff's office. And it's really a sad video. I think, depending on whose side you're on, I guess. But basically, what happened is the cops responded to a call. They knocked on the door. The lady opened the door, and immediately the cop pulled up his sidearm and unloaded his rounds on there. So Herbert had called me and asked me, to watch it and tell him what I think and how that went down, where he was a cop and everything. What I think is it's a damn good thing that there's body cams because that really takes a lot of things out of questioning how he pulled his sidearm, when he decided to, what was the situation. So it really reflects how scary it is, I guess, one, to be a police officer, this video, but two, how scary it is to be a citizen on the other side of an armed police officer in any situation. I mean, it's just a bad situation to be in on both sides. But what's a great thing is the body cam, because now that shows who's telling the truth and who's lying. Now, again, granted, you can't see what goes on beyond the door. You can already see that there's, movement around the hallways and stuff. So, there probably was some curves in the apartment room. You don't see that stuff, but you can tell by the way the building is, But I really think that we've got to start pushing some way, somehow, to at minimum get these body cams on these caseworkers. I mean, that's where that argument started with me. I wasn't concerned about the aspect or angle that Herbert was. I was looking at it as like, look, if we can show body cam footage of how these caseworkers either treat us or what they do or how they hide things or whatever. I mean, man, if they just wore those, it could eliminate so much of this stuff that either we have to push as parents to say that they're lying, or it would definitely keep them honest, right? Like at the bare minimum, it's going to have to keep the caseworker honest to some degree.
Right.
We all know.
But the fact that everybody always records them is like, and they don't want to be recorded. That's
right.
The problem. They don't want to be recorded.
But in the United States, they don't have the right being a public official. I don't know how Canada works in that train, but I'm probably assuming pretty similar.
Yeah.
I mean, once you become a public servant, you're open to the scrutiny of everybody in your country. We pay them.
Exactly.
You pay your caseworkers and stuff. They are up for the scrutiny of whatever we feel like we want to scrutinize. I mean, short of threatening their families and their lives and, things like that. But hell yeah, why not? Put them on. I'm sure that we could get somewhere cheap to donate a bunch of things for us so we could start outfitting these caseworkers with these body cam things. I mean, we don't have to be some extravagant $20 million, top of the line, whatever. But some little device that records everything that is seen and heard in those courtrooms, or not courtrooms. I'm sorry, on those caseworkers would be huge. I think huge, huge, huge. I mean, Joseph, what could it have done for you if the caseworkers were wearing body cams? What do you think could have been avoided, or you could have shown? What was
Well,
really
I have the recording. And
right.
They don't care. They won't even listen to it.
Right.
So like, would it have done anything different? No.
Right.
They wouldn't have watched it anyways.
Right. But saying that, okay, in your situation, one rule didn't make a difference, and so on. But what do you think body cameras could stop or prevent from happening if these workers were to wear these?
I don't think it would stop anything, and they know that, because most parents aren't rude to them. They aren't. They try to portray us like monsters when we're probably. They won't be able to prove it. So.
Right. Well,
you know what I mean?
I really wish that I wasn't where I was at in my situation, because I, in fact, do have a recording that my wife did, and it bugs me the heck out of me because we couldn't find it at the most important time. I've since found it, but what this did was, this recording shows, number one, that they certainly lied,
Right.
and number two, it showed that the demeanor that they portrayed about me and the way I acted in the house that day to the court is the complete opposite. And the role that caseworker was describing was, in fact, her behavior
Right.
towards me and my family in that family team meeting, instead of it being me. However, she fed the court the way I, treated but to them. So it would have made a huge difference in our case.
But like, look at this. Remember, for my death threat, there's normally a video camera there to protect everybody. Okay, there's an actual fucking video camera. But how convenient the day that I supposedly did a death threat, when you would need a video camera to prove that I didn't do anything.
Right.
Oh, they said it was broken. Bullshit.
Right.
See, so like they would say that the camera on them would be broken for you not to see the good people. You know what I mean?
Speaking of recording the department, I guess in a way it's good news, because, Darren, you already know the kind of crazy crap they're pulling now, where the department's not really opposing me, but now this ex-foster family is. Well, how about I have a meeting with the director of DHR tomorrow?
Oh, nice. Good
like,
for you.
the supervisor asked me to have a meeting. She's like, please, can I set you up a meeting with the director? Well, what it is this family is like one of their main foster families that they use. And so they have stood mute through everything and not said a word, but their attorney told me to get my attorney to attack them. They want us to fight their battle for them. But I've got a phone recording of the worker straightforward saying that the primary care doctor has concerns for the risk of harm if the child would go back, because the child was so delayed in that home and improved much quicker than she should have improved. It wasn't like a normal, she got a month older and she did a month's more worth of new things. No, she went from being 100% non-speaking, non-verbal, to now speaking in sentences, counting, starting to try to do her ABCs. She sings songs, she dances, she plays. Different kid. So the supervisor has asked me, almost demanded, that I have this meeting with the director tomorrow. So a year and a half in waiting, I've been trying to get to a director, and tomorrow morning I get a meeting. And damn sure I'm recording it.
Yeah.
Hell,
Good.
they know damn sure I'm recording it.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course they would.
What time is tomorrow,
Well,
Melissa?
I record, that's at 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock your time. Well,
So
see,
you're gonna ask him
Josie,
other questions?
I record every ISP meeting. I record every phone call. I record every court hearing. Okay? And recording the court hearings actually worked out in my favor. I got a judge coming after me trying to find a way to put out a warrant against me for non-payment of child support that he told me not to pay. I have a recording of him telling me do not pay it.
Oh, boy.
So all I did was follow his order. I can't help it that he's too much of an idiot to remember what he says.
Right.
But in all the prior ISPs, they would tell us we had to do things certain ways, and we've always complied. I found case law in my state that says if you complied with all the terms of your, what they require you to, that they cannot terminate, and that a termination can be overturned as long as you complied with what you were supposed to.
Yep.
Which I thought that was one that might help you and a lot of other families.
They
Yeah.
didn't tell me. They told I had nothing to comply. They just didn't want me there. There was no reasoning. There was no what I had to do. There was nothing.
And Darren, you was speaking of your visits, and you was talking about the fact that they'd let you visit first and then have Mary visit. Okay.
Correct.
At this point, they demand that me and JR live in separate residences. But when we go to visit, they make us visit together. So that they can argue we're still together. Yeah, we visit together. We do not visit separately. And the previous worker, the one that they fired, she was wanting to start doing visits at the park. She would do makeup visits. Like, she was trying to actually do her job.
Right.
But I have a recording of that worker saying that my daughter could not have services in my home because she didn't want the judge to make the recommendation of returning the other children.
Wow. That's a tough spot to be in, huh? Like, what do you...
But you get to see the director tomorrow. Think of the positive.
Right.
I am. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put my fucking foot down.
No,
And I'm going to tell them straightforward that if they do not stand up and speak out to protect the rights and best interests of the child, and they allow the child to go back to that home that even the primary care has said is not in the best interest, that I will damn sure out them everywhere. I don't care if I have to make little posters and stories and hang it in every building and every public area there is.
Yeah.
They're gonna get outed.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome, Melissa. That's what we need to do. I mean, what are you thinking that you even want to talk to her about? Like, what's obviously this is fresh and new. I mean, what do you
So
thinking?
the supervisor told me that they know that the best interest is served by not putting the child back in that home, that everyone's concerned of risk of harm. This supervisor has only been my supervisor for maybe 2 months at most. Okay? Since she's come back in. So she's only been there 2 months. And in the 2 months, even she says, I cannot believe how different Annabella is now versus when she was at Miss Morrison's.
And do you see that too, or is it just hearsay?
Absolutely, we all see it.
Yeah.
Now, what I will admit is she comes in to visit as a muddy, frizzled mess. Half the time she don't even have her shoes on, but she's coming straight from daycare. And I swear the daycare lets the kids roll around in a mud hole. But you know what? I would rather have a happy kid with her hair a little messy, with some mud on her knees, that is speaking sentences where last week, she was, you could almost call her a mute. She said no words. Not mama, not dad, not yes, not no. Occasionally you got a hi, and that was it. That was like the only word she knew. She's 2 years old.
Right.
And now she counts to 5. She knows ABC. She tries to sing the Frozen song to you. She sings Wheels on the Bus. She sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Mm-hmm.
And this is over a period of less than 30 days we started seeing this. All
Wow.
it took was taking her
So
out of a home.
So a lot of positives going on there for her.
Well, and just like Cheryl from National Action said, she says in Tennessee, especially there in Nashville, one of the most noted things is when a child improves that much after being in a specific foster home, is that it's proof that there was a risk of harm far greater than anyone recognizes, that the child would trust no one.
Yeah, but
and be afraid to speak.
Why did nobody notice that she wasn't talking at 2?
Oh no, they noticed. It was put on court record that she was delayed. Now this child has not been in my home, and they literally tried to blame me for speech delays.
What?
But like, how long has she been in the first foster family?
A year and 6 months, roughly.
And nobody did anything for a year and 6 months.
Nope, they just called it, like, my son has a little bit of a speech impediment. So they just called it, a speech delay. Has to be bad genetics.
Yeah, but when like, I remember when Skylar was a kid, like, it took him longer, and we just figured, he has 2 bigger sisters. So we, like, in the private, like, not with Children's Aid, but I went to go see a speech therapist. Is that what you call them? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I went and saw one, and we did games with him and came back. But like, isn't that the foster care's job if the child needs help to go see somebody?
Well, they was just going to label her autistic, and as she got closer to the age of 4, issue her services. Okay, but now it's obvious.
Get services until 4?
No, they can get services for before 4. It's just really hard to diagnose children under the age of 4 for certain disorders.
Yeah, but
just because kids have their own learning curve. Well, not only is she speaking, playing, acting completely different, she literally is almost completely potty trained overnight.
Oh, wow.
Before, she wouldn't tell you if she peed. She wouldn't tell you if she pooped. The one supervisor, Miss Kim, changed her diaper while they waited for us to get to visit. Because she got there early. She told the worker, "Thank you for changing her diaper."
Okay, now you.
And when she needed to potty, she ran into the bathroom and stood there and said, "Potty."
Good girl.
But now you need to expose the foster family, because obviously you got proof that she wasn't stimulating the baby. So.
Oh, it's worse than that. The foster mother is accused of molestation.
Ew.
Wow.
Yeah, she is accused of touching some little boy who I guess was in her family.
But is this
and like it really
allegedly, because you don't know.
Allegedly, because I've never spoke to the parent of the child. But what I know is the child is now about 10 years old, and the child has, quote, suffered irreparable harm from the damages caused from being babysat by her. Another child that was in foster care, in her care, got transferred through ICPC up to the state of Maine. And I guess there's a report right there by you somewhere, Darren, of supposedly the same type of abuse that had been done to that girl. And that girl turned all that information into her ICPC officer. And I have conversations on all of this by text message. They were sent to me, and I never put my 2 cents in because I don't want to be accused of trying to taint messages. The worker I had at the time, who's one of the crew that got fired, I told her, I said, Hannah, I said, I got a lot of messages that are coming to my phone that pose a great, concern on my part. I said, so I am concerned that if there is any fact to this, that it could be something irreparably harmful to my daughter. I said, but I am not in a position to put in my 2 cents. I said, it is my job as a loving parent to turn these into you. But in the same, I don't want you to think I'm a rebel rouser. Therefore, I am just relaying the information that was dropped on my doorstep. I said, and now I'm making it your problem and your job to figure it out. Well, halfway through the investigation, they fired her.
Yeah, but the person needs to be fired is the foster family. How is that? How did the community even allow that to happen? If it was 10 years ago that she allegedly, as if she's not.
Oh, no. The one girl she was supposedly touching was in the home at the same time my daughter's in that home.
I don't know.
So it's not just prior allegations, it's current allegations too.
Just crazy.
And the department openly says that there is a risk of harm, but they're not willing to speak up in court because they don't want to lose the foster home. They don't care whether it's in the best interest of the child.
They're like, do you understand? It's like they're putting children at risk. They need to be stopped. Like, come on.
I know, that's why the supervisor wanted me to speak to this director tomorrow, because I think she's expecting me to kind of put my foot down with the director, because I believe the supervisor is in line with my arguments on it. Because my caseworker don't call me, I don't call her. But the supervisor calls me to warn me. So I do think that the supervisor wants the department to speak out. But I think we have to have the director's approval to do it.
That would make sense to me.
You'll see tomorrow.
Right.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, if it goes ass backwards, I know what recording we'll be putting all over the fucking internet.
Yep, exactly.
So, I don't know. Herbert, what do you think, buddy? Let's see if you're vibrating. Melissa, you want to pull Herbert in here for a moment? See what he has to say.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello? Yeah, I was here all the time. I wanted to chime in on what you said earlier about the video, and I think between you and Jonesy, you got it. And that was, I wanted to show you where, if the officer wasn't wearing the body camera, anybody in that hallway would have heard him say, "Drop the gun, drop the gun." Right. So he would have had witnesses saying that he said drop the gun. But if you notice, he shot first and then said drop the gun.
Yeah, he just unloaded, man.
Yeah, so that's the same thing with CPS. I think that they should wear body cameras because it's going to be the little children's word against the CPS officer.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I want to bring that to your attention.
I like that. I would like it to see what they say to the children.
You see, Jonesy, what it was is the police officer, Jonesy, the police officer knocked at the door, yelled police. The guy doesn't know if police or not. He answers the door with a gun at his side. He didn't even have the gun up. He had it down by his pants. The police start shooting. While he was shooting, then he yells, "Drop the gun." If there was no camera present, everybody in the area can attest to the fact that they heard the cops say, "Drop the gun."
Right.
But he already shot the kid.
Right.
So Josie,
Well,
on what you're saying,
All right,
Josie, about wanting to know what the workers say to the children.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine that she worked for the sheriff's department, head of IT for a sheriff's department. And prior to that, she actually worked in the Florida DCF system, and she was the electronics technician that did all the recording and sound for the forensic interview of the children.
Mm.
oh,
And she said straightforward that the workers just force them to say whatever they want them to say. And that it's absolutely abysmal. And she, realistically, she will not go into the individual stories, but she did say it's the most corrupt shit you've ever seen. Bar none.
Mm.
this is just what man. What are the recording laws in Canada, Jose? Are they run parallel to
Well,
what we do?
The recording law is that you can't just be one-on-one. You have to be 3 or more, or you have
Okay.
to say, "I'm recording you," but you can't be just like 2 individuals.
Right. I mean,
But-
no, go ahead.
So Canada is a 2 or more party state. Is that correct?
I guess so. Yes.
Okay. Alabama is a 1-party state. New York is a 1-party state. Florida is a 2-party state. California is a 2-party state.
Okay.
And Herbert, you want to explain what those mean?
Yes. If I'm on the phone with someone right now in a 1-party state, I can record you. You don't have to know I'm recording you. In a 2-party state, you have to know that I'm recording you. That makes sense, Josie?
But like, we don't need to tell them that we're recording, but we just need to be like me and somebody else, or we just need to be 3 people, and then I can record. We can't just be 2.
Okay, so Canada has it twisted up where you can't record unless there's 2 people that know it, and the third party has to know it too, right?
No, they don't need to know.
Okay, so 2 parties know it, but the third party doesn't have to know it. So
Exactly.
that's called a 2-party state.
Okay.
That's 2 party, 2 or more people have to know. I know, you know, but 5 other people with you, they don't have to know.
Right.
Yeah. So you have equivalent to what we call a 2-party state.
Okay.
1 party means that I know I'm recording. You don't know it, but you don't have to, because I know I am.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see why we can't do this and solve this problem. I mean, that would solve so much problems, so much everything. If these caseworkers just put on and make these, not only have the caseworkers wear these body cams, but make them accountable. Make these things out to the public. I got a really big idea that I'm working on right now. That this is gonna go right into perfectly. I don't want to say anything about it just yet. What I'm working on, but believe me, it's gonna. If this thing goes, it's gonna be. It'll be pretty awesome. So, that being said, oh man, I don't know. It's just the recording thing would just be huge. We need to be able to see what's going on. That way, the facts can be laid out there. Because the fact that they can get away with lying all the time. Because what would happen to us if we lied, right?
But
What would happen
Darren,
if
that's
we
what
lied?
that's why we need to have a union for the parents, so
Well, I
that we
agree.
can bring in that evidence forward to the judge.
Right. And what I've been doing
Well,
this whole time
hey
is I've been
Darren,
writing down the process.
you say what happens if we lie, but they already assume that we're all lying.
Right. Facts.
In my case, my judge told my attorney how I was this lying sack of shit, manipulating the case, turning his courtroom upside down. But my case has never been defended in front of him. I've never said anything to him. And I've damn sure never lied to him.
Right. I mean,
if we can't make workers wear body cameras, why not get parents to wear body cameras?
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
I mean-
let's flip it. You know? I mean, Melissa, we've had this apparel at our website this whole time. The wear body cam stuff. We have this stuff. I'll pull up a picture of the shirt, but their teachers. Oh, it's not going to work on this thing here. But it says, like caseworkers need to wear body cams. It's not much more exciting than that. But I put it up in the back. It just doesn't work.
Right, but I mean, do you have to ask for permission? As if it was like a verbal recording, if you're literally walking in wearing a police style body cam? Why don't parents wear body cams? When they know they're going into these meetings, what's the department going to do? Refuse to hold the meetings?
But you know what we could do? In their union, we offer these body cams to the parents before their meeting. Here you go. It's paid by the union. Take the body cam, go to your appointment, and then bring us back and we'll analyze it for you.
Well, they have a really cool recording device that's about the size of a credit card called a plot note. Cheryl got one, and I guess it was like the absolute bomb because it also uses AI technology to transcribe it all into the computer when you plug it in, like when you get home. You can Bluetooth transfer the whole conversation over, and the AI will transcribe the whole thing for you.
That exists?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called a plot note.
Did you just
I
make
think
that
they're
up,
like
Melissa?
$80. No, I seriously, I wanted to buy one. I showed Cheryl the thing. She ended up buying one. I told her she owed me one for my birthday.
Does it work well?
She says it works phenomenal. Because if you stick it to the back of your phone, it'll Bluetooth to your phone, and it'll record it will record and transcribe your phone conversation. Or you can carry it by itself, and it's literally not much bigger than a credit card. So it's super, super easy to hide.
But in a way, when you think about it, it's fucking crazy that we're in a world where like people lie and we need receipts all the fucking time.
Right.
I don't want to live in that world where I'm like, well, here's your proof. Like, what the fuck?
Right. It's supposed to be that it's supposed to be that they take your word for it. Your word's supposed to mean something.
Yes. Where's the integrity? Where's the truthfulness? Like, why do people lie? I don't know.
I don't know either. It's freaking awful. It really does. It's just, and they lie. The severity and the consequences. I've always been the sayer that this is the death penalty when they TPR you, but you know what? It's not, because you know what? The death penalty, they go on forever. I mean, barely anybody dies of the death penalty in jail, right? Like no one ever gets to, no one ever is killed right from the gates of the death penalty. We don't get our kids when they get TPR. We don't get to hold on to them for months and months and months and months. Hell, we haven't even held on to them for a year or two at this point. They're gone. You know what I mean? And we don't get to try over and over and over. So no, people on death row get more rights than we do when they're trying to fight for their life. But they'll take our kids and we fight for nothing. So you know what? Put a friggin' body cam on so that we can prove to you that we are not, that this is lies, or we are not lying, and that we are good parents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty simple solution to an easy to a difficult fight in court when you don't have those things.
But the
Hey,
parent,
Darren.
parent wears it. The parent wears it because we're not scared.
Yeah.
Hey, Darren, I threw that plod note thing. I threw it up in the chat, so anyone wants to check it out. It's ran through Chat GBT4.
Chat GBT4 plug note.
Yeah. Yep, there's a link right to its webpage, right on the chat. It's a really cool little device.
Speaking of devices, check this out. Not to bring this up, but we don't ever really talk about this stuff here. But on our website, did you guys know that we sell this stuff too? Check this out. On our website, believe it or not, let me get rid of this. Watch this. What else do we sell? We sell recording devices. Did you guys know that we sell all that stuff? We got. This is a pair of. But look at this. We sell books, spiral notebooks that say if you've been warned, if you've seen this, you've been warned, recorded, you're being recorded. All kinds of mini cameras, things like that. I don't know how this hat got on there. Underneath, it's Schaefer wear, but it's right here. Some more shirts, jackets, things like that. They're supposed to be in the protection stuff. But yeah, so we sell all kinds of things. I guess that's it for there's the other book right here, the other spiral notebook. And check this out. Do you know why I did this right here? See these books? Did you know that if you keep your notes in a notebook, and let's say that they walk by your table in the courthouse and they happen to pick your notebook up and it's not labeled for the eyes of your family only or top secret or whatever, they can use whatever is in that notebook in your court case.
Huh?
So if you, yeah, right, huh? It's right.
Huh?
If
Any viewed evidence, yeah.
Yep. If they walk by and I keep notes and everything, all these notebooks. I have closets and closets of my notebooks and notes. So if you're in court and the caseworker comes through, you went to lunch or went to something, they pick up your notebook, open it up, read information inside. They are allowed to use that in the courtroom.
Yeah, when I went to lunch at the last hearing, I left my phone intentionally recording on the table and I just lightly set a piece of paper over it. I caught the whole conversation of the guardian ad litem saying that she was smarter than a professor of psychology and she was going to run him in circles and get him to trip over his own feet. So ever since then, the psychologist, he's like, I'm studying up. He says, I'm just waiting for her. We'll show her who's going to trip over whose feet.
Yeah, but check this out, guys. And you know what? I have discount code. Look at this. I have the flag. Did you guys see this? The flag. If you can read this, you have been warned. Fly those in your windows at your house and stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you guys, this stuff's all available on abolishcps.com. I designed all this stuff. But check it out. And then, like I said, you got these cameras. You got pen recorders. There's all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. This little gadget thingy, all kinds of things. So make sure that you guys check that out. So come there first to get yourself your. Jesus Almighty, the phone's blowing up tonight.
You need to promote this more on TikTok, Darren.
You know what? I've been trying to. I don't know how. I've signed up for the business office. I've business account. I've done all this stuff. Don't know how to do it.
You press the red button and you talk.
I know.
Yeah, Darren. Open mouth, insert foot, make extra video, piss off more people.
No, but show your apparel stuff.
Yeah, no, I should, right? Don't you think?
Yes.
I mean, we got it.
Yeah, no. Hey, Darren. I was thinking about apparel because I so want to talk to you and order a shirt. And what I want some with Nancy Schaefer on it, but I don't want it to say who she is. I just want it to say "Stand Proud." Well,
see
yeah,
what I
you've
have?
got a couple of them, but I needs to only say stand proud, because that way when the workers say, well, who is that on your shirt? Why does it say stand proud? Then I can explain to them it's Nancy Schaefer and what she represents.
Right, that's great. Yeah, okay, I can do that. We can do that. We'll build that one. I need someone to start buying this stuff though, because my bills are due for this stuff, and it's a tight. It's been a tight couple of years here. So, if anybody
Right.
can start buying this stuff, I would appreciate it, because every little bit helps. But you did see my Nancy Schaefer stuff, right?
Yeah, I've seen your Nancy Schaefer stuff, but it says that it's Nancy Schaefer.
Right, correct. It does.
I want one where it says nothing, and that way when one of my dumbass workers says, well, who's that? Why does it say stand proud? Then I get to say, well, she died for what she believed in. And then I get to tell them that she believed in taking down a corrupt CPS system.
I like that. I like that idea. Let's see here.
Because you already know that will screw up my worker big time. Hey, what I was thinking is...
This is my Nancy Schaefer one right here.
Some of those shirts you...
She's the...
She was in Congress. She was, what? Senate, right?
Senator, yeah. So...
Yeah, she was in the Senate over in Georgia, and she openly spoke out against the financial corruption of CPS and outed it for what it really was, and wanted CPS brought down. And this has been years ago, and she was murdered for it. Her and her husband both.
Of course.
Murder-suicide.
Yep. They said that her husband killed her.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And like, how many years later, they still don't know who did it, right?
Right. And I believe
they blamed her husband.
Yeah.
When we know the fact of the matter is that it was the government.
Yeah. Well, I know that she was. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that she was handicapped as well. So like, there was like absolutely no way that he could do it. So I think he was.
Yeah, he was a paraplegic, I believe.
Yeah, something. Yeah, he's like, there was no physical way it could have ever happened.
Yeah, no, he would have never shot her. He believed in what she stood for. And that also occurred, if you look at the timeline, it occurred only like, I think 2 months after she released the Nancy Schaefer report, as far as the corruption and the misappropriation of funds from the children.
Yeah.
And how they were trafficking the children.
Oh, you know what? Here we go. We got this. I'm going to play this here for you. I want you to hear this, Josie. This is some good stuff, guys. We're going to run a little bit over. Make sure that Josie hears this right here. Let's see here. Where is it?
For several terms and is a member of 6 Senate committees. Please welcome our good friend, Senator Nancy Schaefer.
Thank you, dear Phyllis, and thank you to all of you. I have served in the Georgia State Senate for 4 years. One of my greatest pleasures, other than my sonogram bill, was getting the resolution passed to stop the North American Union. However, for 4 years, I had been confronted with families struggling to remove their children from the clutches of Child Protective Services. I wrote a scathing report last year on the corruption in Child Protective Services, and an update and copies are out on the table. During the last session of the Georgia General Assembly, I introduced Senate Bill 415 relating to juvenile proceedings, and copies of that bill are attached to the report on the tables. The Bill 415 called for the time allotted for the Department of Human Resources to provide emergency care to a child without a court order to be reduced from 7 days to 72 hours. A court order to enter the residence of a parent or guardian to seize a child. It called for family court to be open to the public. Confidentiality and secrecy in family court protects the wrong people. It provided that immunity in the system shall not extend to the seizures of children that are
Nancy.
found to be in violation, nor to the administration of medication to a child over the objection of the parent or custodian, and it provided the state from applying for obtaining, receiving, or accepting adoption incentive payments under the Federal Adoption and Safe Families Act of 1997. The Department of Child Protective Services has become a protected empire built on taking children and separating families. This is not to say that there are not those children who do need to be removed from wretched situations and need protection. However, my report is concerned with the children and parents caught up in legal kidnapping. Having worked with probably 300 cases statewide and hundreds across the country, and in nearly every state, I am convinced there is no accountability in Child Protective Services. I have come to several
Ain't that the understatement?
Right.
conclusions. 2 or 3 are: 1, that poor parents, not always, but oftentimes, are targeted to lose their children because they do not have the wherewithal to hire an attorney and fight the system. That caseworkers and social workers are very often guilty of fraud. They withhold and destroy evidence. They fabricate evidence, and they seek to terminate parental rights unnecessarily. That the separation of families and the snatching of children is growing as the business grows, because state and local governments have grown accustomed to having these taxpayer dollars to balance their ever-growing budgets. That the bureaucracy is huge. Look at who is getting paid: state employees, attorneys, court investigators, guardian ad litems, court personnel and judges. There are psychologists, therapists, psychiatrists, counselors, foster parents, adoptive parents, and on and on. All are looking to the children in state custody to provide job security. That the Adoption and the Safe Families Act, set in motion first in 1974 by Walter Mondale and later in 1997 by President Bill Clinton, offered cash bonuses to the states for foster care. In order to receive the adoption incentive bonuses, local child protective services would need more children. They must have merchandise that sells, and they must have plenty so the buyer can choose. Some counties often offer $4,000 to $6,000 bonus for each child adopted out to strangers, and an additional $2,000 for a special needs child. Employees work to keep the federal dollars flowing. But that is only the beginning figure in the formula in which each bonus is multiplied by the percentage that the state has managed to exceed its baseline adoption number. Therefore, states and local communities work hard to reach their goals for increased numbers of adoptions for children in foster care. As you can see, this program is offered from the very top and is run by Health and Human Resources. This is why victims in Child Protective Services get no help from their legislators. It explains why my bill, Senate 415, suffered such defeat in the Judicial Committee, and why I was cut off at every juncture, and why I was defeated myself last month for my re-election by another Republican. That tax dollars are being used to keep this gigantic system afloat. Many grandparents have called me to get custody of their grandparents before being lost in the system. Grandparents who lose their grandchildren to strangers have lost their own flesh and blood. The children lose their family heritage, and grandparents, and parents too, lose the connection of their heirs. And that the National Center on Child Abuse and Neglect in 1998 reported that 6 times more children died in foster care than in the general public, and that once removed to official safety, these children are far more likely to suffer abuse, including sexual molestation, than in the general population. Think what that number is today, 10 years later. Here are a couple of the recommendations on my list. Call for an independent audit of all state child protective services and for a federal congressional hearing on child protective services. Abolish the federal and state financial incentives that have turned child protective services into a business that separates families for money. I have witnessed such injustice and harm brought to so many families that I am not sure if reform of the system is even possible. The system cannot be trusted. It does not serve the people. It operates families and children simply because it has the power to do so. What I have said to you in these few minutes is that we must confront the fraud in child protective services. Child Protective Services seizes children using the very system that is paid for by the taxpayer, who actually believes it is used to protect abused and neglected children. Of workers benefit financially by a system that converts children into cash while destroying their families and their lives. No child who emerges from the system can ever be sound or whole. Many disappear and never are ever heard from again. God will not stand for what is happening to our children and our families. His heart beats for these children. He will lift up what is happening in America regarding child protective services is a criminal political phenomenon, and it must be brought to an end. Please join me in working to help set our children and our families free. To whom much is given, much is required. As you pray for this nation, pray for the upcoming election and for our national financial crisis. Please pray for our children and for our families. We all must press on and win this race for America. Thank you very much.
Now, where is that politician, right?
She's dead.
Where is that politician that we need now to be stepping up for us?
What was her name again?
That was
Nancy Schaefer.
Nancy. I need that speech written in French so I can repeat it, because exactly what she says is exactly how I feel, man. The system is rigged the same way here, man.
I actually have. I just downloaded a copy of her Senate Bill 415.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you hear? Did you hear? She said North American Union.
Yeah, she did. Yep, absolutely.
Well, yes,
guys,
the South is non-union. Down here,
right,
there is no unions.
But we're talking North American Union, just like Josie was saying, our North American Parents Union. That's us. All right, guys, I got Kenneth in here real quick. He wants to give us an update. Let's see what Kenneth has to say. Kenneth, so what's the bad news, bud? What's going on?
How's it going, Darren?
How are you, man? Not too good, I see.
Yeah, I feel you.
What's happening with you?
Went to court today, and the caseworker identified herself by a different title today. And while she was under oath, she also made the statement that back when our case first started, they had already identified a possible adoption resource.
Did I say that again?
The St. Francis Ministries caseworker that's been on this case for like the past 13 months identified herself as the permanency placement specialist, which she is not. And she made the statement that back when this case first started, they had already identified a possible adoption resource.
How
Wow.
long has your child been taken away?
Today, they said it was 2 years and 4 months.
And how old is your child?
He's going to be 4 next month on the 17th.
So what does this mean for you now?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I was just there as a party of interest. They didn't really acknowledge me other than that.
And you are the dad?
No, not, well, that's a touchy
No,
thing.
we don't know yet.
We don't know yet. They did a DNA test, but I don't trust those bastards. Excuse my French, Darren. I don't trust them. They had a DNA test done, and I'm in Kansas, and they sent the samples all the way to Burlington, North Carolina, when we have places here that can do that.
And are you the dad that they say or no?
Well, by their records, no.
Okay. But you in your heart think you are.
Yeah, and I was legally married to the biological mother when the case started.
Are you on the birth certificate?
No, somebody else signed that, but that person disappeared when my daughter was 2 months old.
But you're not with the mother anymore?
No, the guardian ad litem made quick work of that. She coerced my now ex-wife, told her if she did not file for divorce, she was going to pursue recommendation of termination of her rights.
Of course.
So we ended up getting divorced. Didn't really have a say.
So
No.
now they said that the baby's gonna go up for adoption. What does the mom say? Does she want her?
I'm assuming she's going to fight, because she was in tears today, and she told them, I finished my case plan. Down here in Kansas, we've got like 5 separate private companies that do child protection. And they set forth a case plan for us, and we've both accomplished it, and we've even done more than what was initially put on the case plan, because they kept moving the bar.
But I'm surprised that CPS are even acknowledging you.
Right, well, that's the
they,
thing.
you know, we were married, so.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing.
Well, I mean, this is a guy that's a real dad, you know, like a real daddy and
But
father,
that's
you know?
what I mean. That's what I mean. It's a good thing, because they could have easily said, "Whoop, you're not on the birth certificate.
Right.
Well, we're not married anymore. Leave." So, like,
You know,
think
like-
of that
like-
as a positive.
Right. And like Ken's been saying since the beginning, doesn't matter what that test says, he's the father in his eyes, because this baby doesn't have one at this point. The other guy is just owner, if you will, and he wants nothing to do with the child. So, you know, we've even told Kenneth, maybe, hey, try to go, you know, smooth talk him and see if he'll sign his rights over to him, or if that's the case or something, you know, like there's got to be something.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't give a guy that's this dedicated to getting a kid, that he's saying that says he wants to provide for him, that's finished his case plans, has done all of this stuff with the system breaking him down, and he's still standing there fighting and getting better every day. He should not be denied this child. You know, and people need to start helping this guy up.
And the other guy, he just, every time they send him a letter and they send it certified, he sends it back.
Yeah, but that's not. You don't even have to worry about the other guy. Don't
Well, I
worry
have to
about it.
because they gave him an attorney in the beginning, and he made it very clear, I want nothing to do with this child in the beginning. And then after 2 years, he's like, oh, well, if they terminate her rights, then I'll step up. But he wasn't there in the beginning.
Oh, so now it's the dad that wants the baby.
Now he all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm interested, but he wasn't there when shit was hard.
Ugh, that becomes complicated.
Yeah.
He wasn't there for the 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock feedings. He wasn't there for the teething. And
Yeah, but do you want to see another side of the story? My daughter wasn't there because CPS took the baby away. So another woman was there. My daughter wasn't there because she wasn't allowed to.
Oh, well,
so, like, does it make the other woman more of a mom than my daughter?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that at all. But in my case,
heck, that's what the fosters here are arguing.
But in my case, she was 18 months old when they took her. So you
obviously have a bond with her. 100%.
Yeah, right. And they,
but like, why
they've noticed
that? Why can't you guys, you and the dad? So now you're not with the mom anymore, but you and the dad should be adults enough to go be like, this is for the best interest of this child. I love her. You love her. You want a relationship with her. Why don't we both give her a loving relationship, like equal?
Well, he's doing it more out of spite.
But have you talked to him?
He won't talk to anybody. He won't answer phone calls.
Have you went up to him and, hey, man, listen, we're fighting for this little girl. We both love her. We don't want to go into a fight and then fuck this little girl up.
No, he's not participated at all. That's the thing. They
But
gave him an attorney.
Now. He wants to be a dad now. Even if it's out of spite. Listen,
that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant at this point.
That's between me and you, if it's out of spite, if this dad doesn't want to really, he's doing it out of spite, okay? Like, how long do you think that will last?
I don't know, but he's doing it out of spite.
Exactly, it won't.
But here's the thing: if he gets the kid out of the system, he's a much easier person to fight than the state is.
Well, he lost his custody when she was an infant because he threatened to kidnap her if he got visitation.
That's awful. It's an awful situation. I can't believe that they're putting you through it, Ken. And we need to really look into what this means now to you, since she is being TPR'd. I mean, does this? I know you're a party of interest. We need to find out if this keeps you in the running, or does this remove you from it? Like, how does this?
Yeah, I don't know. I've got some other people that I'm going to ask, and
hey, Darren, a thought for that. Why doesn't he file to enter a petition for adoption? Kind of what the fosters are doing to me. I mean, why is his standing any different?
Oh yeah, why wouldn't you? Good call. Why not just
Because Kenneth, foster family that does not have my child just filed a motion to intervene and a petition for TPR against me when my kids aren't even dependent. And the judge granted their intervener, okay? He hasn't granted their TPR petition, but he's hearing a motion in 2 weeks to decide whether he's going to take my kid and put it back into a household where there's harm. That's why I have a meeting in the morning with DHR. So you should look at asking the attorney to do some type of asking for the placement, because you have a bond with the child that far exceeds 12. A bond with a foster or a family member that requires a 12-month thing. I've been doing a lot of research on it here in the last 2 weeks, and it's something that would directly apply to you because you have a bond greater than 12 months. Therefore, you have standing, and the judge recognized that when he allowed you in as a party. Now that
That's
they're
what I mean.
terminating on her, why can't you just petition to adopt and demand to assert your rights as a vested person of interest?
I should do that.
And you should do it through the court, not through the department.
Well, I would do it.
The department,
you. The CPS already acknowledging you as a party, which is good. I said at the beginning, it's a positive thing.
Well, they don't like me none. That's for sure.
But you need
it don't matter. The judge likes you. The judge granted you access. You already have that access, therefore use it.
Oh yeah, no, the judge doesn't like me, but he had.
Doesn't matter. He respects you. He didn't have to do anything. He could have made you fall tooth and nail, established as anything in the case. Instead, he granted you that ability to be in there as a party. He really, yes, the case laws they're saying that he had to, but you didn't petition demanding under that case law. He went ahead and granted you that status. Now use it to your advantage.
I'm going to have to file that. I think I'd have to go through my attorney, though.
You will. There's some pretty good case law. If you look up what is the requirements for a foster to intervene. Look up case laws around that. And it'll come up with all kinds of case laws around families with vested interest, foster with vested interest. Because you would almost classify more like a foster because you're not a direct parent. And you're not a direct bloodline as far as the court's concerned. So you got to look at it more along the line of what are the foster rules. A petition demanding placement, that is something you're allowed to do. A petition to adopt, a petition for guardianship, those are all things you are allowed to do as a vested interest into the child.
I'm going to have to look into that.
Definitely. All right, guys. We are well past our time. Melissa, what's your thoughts for the night?
Like I always say, always fight for your kids because no one will fight for them like you will.
All right. Josie, thoughts for you?
I second what Melissa said. Just never stop fighting. Just go, go, go. And the North American Parent Union is a good idea. Yeah.
It started here tonight. Kenneth, last words for tonight, buddy.
Never trust CPS and never let them in your home.
That's right.
That's
Herbert,
Darren's
you still
line.
here? That's a good one. Yeah. Herbert, you still here, buddy? Herbert. No, I guess he's gone. No last lines for Herbert tonight. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys very much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Josie, I can't wait to see you again next Monday for some more news. Kenneth, we'll keep in touch with you. Melissa, we always are in touch. Thank you guys.
Darren.
Again, very much. It's been a great show.
There he is.
Thank you so much. Oh, did Herbert come back? Herbert? Now he's gone. I don't know where Herbert went, guys. But you heard it tonight, guys. If you guys can donate anything, send it to GFY JDG 2021, whether it's for Kenneth, whether it's for Josie, whether it's for this show, anything that you guys can do, every little bit will help. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you guys very much for your support in this show. We really appreciate it. And here's Herbert. Right here. Herbert.
Herbert's here.
Better late than never. Last words, buddy.
What Kenneth said before, don't let CPS into your home without a warrant. And don't let the police in your home without a warrant.
No matter what.
That's
All right.
correct.
All right. Thanks much, Herbert. And guys, in the words of Herbert, don't let CPS in your house without a warrant, even if Herbert's there. I'm the CPS Punisher. I'm out of here.